Greetings, YouTube. You know, I was watching a video that was put out by Gun Guru 2012. I think he put it out around May 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. And that I stumbled across his channel accidentally, and you know, I haven't checked out all his videos, but you know, at first I was getting ready to kind of just, you know, blow through that video. And the more I listened, the more he caught my attention. So hey, kudos to you, Gun Guru. And the subject of his video was pretty much, the premise was bugging in or bugging out, and he had a lot of interesting things to say. And forgive me, I'm gonna be heading out here to walk my best buddy Charlie. He's got to go for his daily swim in the river, and I'm running a little late, so he's bugging me. But he made some really good points about not bugging out. And one of the lines he used that really made me stop and think was, he said that once you bug out of your location, your residence, you become, for all intents and purposes, a refugee. You become a refugee. What an interesting and scary thought. I mean, wow, that was a beautiful way to put it. He's right. You know, so that got me to thinking. So do we bug in or do we bug out? Stay where we're at, stay put, for those of you who don't know what bug in means. And look, man, you know, there is no set answer for everybody, but I have to believe that the majority of people in this country do not have suitable bug out locations. Now, those of you that have seen my videos know that I've got a place that I'm putting together, you know, as fast as time and money will permit, up in the mountains in my bug out cabin. But not everybody has that. Not everybody can go buy 12 acres or 5 acres or 10 acres or whatever. There's an awful lot of people that are living in the cities. And when you think about them, I got to agree with Gun Guru 2012. Unless there were circumstances that were so out of control and such an imminent safety threat to you or your loved ones, I would recommend that you stay put. You don't want to be a refugee in your own state, and that's what you would be. You know, and one of the guys that responded to Gun Guru, one of the first responses was, "Hey man, I live in Oakland, California." You know what, man? Those are situations where it's just common sense, man. You cannot stay in those places. You got to get the hell out of there. I mean, I'm just going to be blunt, you know. If you're a white guy living in, you know, Oakland, California, or you're living in South Central Los Angeles, and there is no rule of law, we saw what happened in the riots in 1992 in Los Angeles. Check out my videos, man. I was there. Doesn't make me a hero, but it makes me understand what people do to each other when there's absolutely no consequences, or immediate consequences anyways. You don't want to be that one dude who's got a, you know, a bottle of water and you know, 2 MREs hanging out in New York City's, you know, whatever the worst part of New York City is, or out there in Oakland like this dude was talking about. So you better have a plan to get the hell out of there. And I'm gonna do a video here in a second. I'll probably do one later on today that talks about when to bug out, and that is absolutely critical. If you're gonna leave, you got to leave early enough to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you become part of the problem and you become vulnerable. So we'll talk about that later. But right now, I just wanted to address the stay or go. I will tell you that I am in a position personally, and you know, you got to tweak each story to your own situation, and maybe some of you can take away a little bit from this. My bug out location is what I prefer to do, is get the hell out of town. I don't want to be anywhere near the cities or suburbs. But you know what? It's 130 miles away from where I'm at, and that's a factor. And I may not be able to get to it in time if I didn't leave early enough. You know, you think about Katrina, think about Los Angeles in '92. Man, I was at both of those places. You know, with Katrina, well, I drove from Virginia to Katrina down there, and I'll tell you what, the roads were closed in many places. The closer you got, the more you ran into checkpoints. So, you know, same thing's going to happen out here. So what I've done is, and this is expensive, man, I got it, and logistically it's a nightmare, but I've had to embrace the reality that I may not ever make it to my bug out location. So does that mean that I don't have supplies at my house? Absolutely not. My dog is so fat that the fastened seatbelt passenger freaking bell just went off. Nice going, Charlie. 110 pounds of golden retriever, man, and I love every ounce of them. It's okay, Charlie, daddy's fat too. But you know, I've conspired with my neighbor at my house, and we are developing plans, and we're going to find out who else is on board in terms of the neighborhood, and we're operating under the premise that we may have to stay here. In other words, if I leave, he's going, you know, him and his family are going to go with me. You know, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you need to have more than one guy running the show at wherever you are. You know, one guy cannot handle all of the defenses, you know, all of the security, all of the logistics, because that guy's got to sleep, and you know, you're only one person. So you got to have some people with you that you can trust and that brings something to the table. Another subject. I digress. I'm sorry, but the point is, if you have a bug out location, you also should be planning, in my opinion, to stay at this location that you're at, which means you're going to have some supplies there too. If you put 2 50-pound bags of rice next month at your bug out location, the following month put 2 50-pound bags where you're at. Well, you're going to be feeding the looters when you're gone, and they come to your. Well, you know what? Anybody that has been in the military knows that you got to have a plan Alpha and a plan Bravo, because no matter how well you plan for Alpha, it's going to be some unforeseen bullshit's going to happen, and you're going to end up having to adjust and adapt and overcome. So, Charlie, so get your act together. Ooh, here comes the beast. It's really, really nice to drive with a giant dog on my lap. Really good. Charlie, can you? I don't know if I can't get him to the camera view, but anyways, he's literally sitting on my lap. That's pretty much it, man. Hopefully I made some sense. When I get home from the swim here, I'll have to review it and see if I even made any of my points that I was trying to make. Let me review them. Staying in or bugging out, bugging in or bugging out. You know, Gun Guru's belief was that you should stay in if at all possible, because you don't want to become a refugee. God, that's deep, man. That is worthy of some heavy contemplation, and I hope that you all watch his video if you haven't. Gun Guru 2012. Go check it out, man. It's inspiring because it makes you really think. Man, nobody wants to be a refugee. And then you got to lug all your shit around too. You know, if you're one of those guys that's going to go out to the local state park, or you're going to go down to the you know, you think you're going to be out there foraging in the wilderness on the outskirts of town, man, you better have some serious caches planted and some serious plans, man. You better be like some major military operator or something and know what you're doing. That's not the kind of thing you're going to be able to wing effectively. You know, making shit up with your Cub Scout manual. You'll either be captured or victimized. I mean, there's any of a number of scenarios that could happen to you. None of them are good. The first 2 or 3 days it might be fun and exciting. After the first week you might be suicidal because it's just be a disaster. And then by the time you decide to go back to your house, what do you think is going to be waiting for you? You know, so give it some thought. Give me your comments. Go watch his video. Make a video response of your own. Let's discuss it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I got some really cool videos. I've been transferring some of my VHS videos that are like 20-something years old into digital, so the sound is totally fucked up. Man, look at, there's a huge snapping turtle in the middle of the road. Unbelievable. Wow. I'm not going to help that fucker. I want to, but they bite, I think. So, yeah, I've been transferring these videos, man. I got some killer vintage, I love that word, old LAPD stuff back from when I was back on the job. I was like one of the few guys that took my video camera when they were the size of like a news camera. I took it around and I shot some video. Just go check it out, man. If you haven't looked at my videos, then shame on you. Go check them out. If you like what you see, subscribe. Leave a comment, man. I hate when I post a video and then I sit around like a little kid waiting for comments and nobody leaves any. You know what I mean? So be nice. Somebody goes to the work to make a video, god damn it, leave a comment. All right, you guys, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, you know, one of the questions that comes up often about bugging out is when to bug out. When do you leave? When do you actually hit the road? Now, I know I've mentioned this before, but let's talk about it for just a second. This will be a short video. And forgive me again, I'm still driving with my dog. I'm checking out my new camera mount that sticks to the window, which I got off of eBay. Pretty cool. And it allows me to make videos while I'm driving, which I do a lot of. This is pretty cool, man. I can't wait to get home and upload them and see how they look. But when to bug out? I'm just gonna put it to you straight. One here. If you wait too long, really, if you even wait as much as an hour too long to bug out, you've missed your window and the opportunity to get out while the getting was good in many cases. You know, here again, having worked the LA riots in '92, and I had to drive in because I was home. I was 78 miles away from LA where I lived. So I know it was a long commute, but come on, it's LA. And I had to go through numerous roadblocks to get in when the TAC alert was called. Later on, when I was working out here, I was working in Washington, D.C., I had to respond to the Katrina fiasco, and I drove all the way from Virginia to New Orleans. Roadblocks, National Guard roadblocks, law enforcement roadblocks, tactically unsafe situations in between those roadblocks. Listen, you've got to get out ahead of the masses. I mean, if you're on the East Coast, can you imagine being on 95 trying to bug out? Can you just imagine that? I've got 130 miles to get to my cabin from where I'm at. So what that means is, well, what do you do? I guess is a good question. What do you do? How do you get out of? You've got to be a reader of the tea leaves, my friends. And what that means is you have to have absolute situational awareness. You've got to understand what's going on around you at all times. Look, politically, there's a continuous barrage of shit happening. But you owe it to yourself, as depressing as it is, to keep track of the news in terms of what's going on. Whether it's the Trayvon Martin shooting down south, any of these things can kick off a national civil unrest situation. Yeah? The Trayvon Martin shooting, we got the trial to look forward to. I mean, look what almost happened down there. There were people, there's already been retaliatory beatings. When the cops were freed after the Rodney King thing, and I'm not going to retry that here, but when they were acquitted, that's what started the LA riots. And if you are too young to remember that, then get off of this channel and Google Los Angeles riots 1992. You should do that anyways as a refresher and remember, or as a reminder as to how fucked up people can get when there's no rule of law, which there wasn't there, trust me. I mean, there were firemen getting shot in the face and you name it. So go watch that. Go watch a few of the videos from the LA riots, and now imagine that in your town or on a national level. And make no mistake about it, man, anything can happen. A racial incident, what's the guy, Zimmerman getting acquitted could start a riot. Him being convicted could start a riot. Gas prices going up could start riots. They fuel running out of gas. You know, this almost happened in the 70s when I was younger. There were lines of people waiting for gas. All of this is our potential, detonators for civil unrest. So you have to stay alert. Yeah, stay alert to what's going on around you. Watch. Did I just run over a bird? You got to be shitting me. I don't see a corpse. The bird must have flown right under my truck. Okay, so when you get up in the morning, you get ready for work, hit the news if you don't do it already. You don't have to dwell on it, but stay alert. If you got rioting in a couple of cities in Europe, then listen to the news for the rest of the day. My rule of thumb in terms of when I bug out is if there are 3 civil unrest occurrences happening with USA and different states or major cities simultaneously, because that is my line in the sand. I realize that has a potential to spread. You got to come up with your own signal to go. My family and I, we've discussed it. We know what it's gonna take to make us hit the road, and you have to have that down now. You can't be winging it. Those who wing it get stuck in traffic jams and roadblocks. Go watch the LA riots, man. People were getting pulled out of their vehicles and beaten. You don't want to be those guys. I know I won't. I won't be that guy. So give me your thoughts and your comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, that's just disgusting. You know, come on. Watch my videos and subscribe. It's not an ego thing. I guess maybe part of it is. I mean, we all have egos. But, you know, I want to stay involved, man. I want to get your feedback and your feelings and your opinions. As long as you agree with me, we'll be okay. Just kidding. All right, be safe. Stay alert. Stay alive.